Hello, good afternoon. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET now with me, Vinny Motiwal, along with me, Shrishti Sharma as well. Shrishti, a very good afternoon to you as well. Markets holding on to that gains that we've seen coming in since morning, they picked up pace and now holding on to those levels over there. Nifty as of now holding on to 14% of a gain around those levels. 21,450 levels is what the Nifty is holding on to and around those levels as of now as well. Nifty Bank 2 holding on to 0.5% in gain as of now. So yes, good momentum that is seen because advance decline ratio clearly in the favor of advances versus a decline that we're seeing. Other than that, obviously, let's talk about the three new listings that have happened today. We're seeing that Moti Sons Jewelers surely saw very good and bumper listing coming in, but on the other hand, Suraj Estates as well as Muthoot Microfinance was something that was in terms of a lackluster listing that came in from these other two companies as well. Now, sector-wise, what you're seeing coming in today as of now, Nifty Metal, Energy as well as Pharma holding on to good gains, while IT seems like it's fallen up a bit more today in trade as well as of now at the day's lowest point. Look at the Nifty IT as of now. Let's pull up that chart because that's what we want to know. That clearly managed to go in the green, but then post that we've seen a decline and yes, down 0.3% in trade. Other than that, Nifty Realty as well as Media, that's also not holding on to gains, and those two now are also trading in the red as well. Nifty Realty, yes, clearly given up those gains, trying to inch back towards the positive side, but we'll watch out for in the next 1 hour and the next couple of hours of trade where that goes as well. Nifty Media just has slipped into the red a short while ago as well, so let's keep an eye out on sector performances, but a lot of individual names that have been moving in trade, a lot of individual buzzers on the back of news flows and technicals, and that's what we'll be covering in the next 1 hour as well. And to talk about that, on the technical front, we are joined by Kunal Bothra, while from the research team, we do have Makshi as well as Ankita joining in with us. A very good afternoon to all three of y'all as well, and that's the main, thank you for joining in with us, and that's what you're going to talk about in individual stocks. But let me start then with the first stock that one should be keeping on their radar today. And obviously there are a lot of individual names that have been moving. Whether you look at Laurus Labs, Kumar Infra, all those have been in terms of the buzzers that have been coming in trade as well. NMCCs, the amine names, Balaji Amines, Indo Amines, Alkyl Amines, all of them also have seen a lot of moves coming in trade as well. Now, the first stock I'm going to talk about is Kfittech Technologies. This one is in focus on the back of a brokerage note that we've seen coming in this morning, and that is from Spark Capital, where they've initiated a coverage on this one and they've given a buy rating for this. So the target price that they've kept is 560 rupees per share. Other than that, what they are saying is that Spark is highlighting that an MFRTA business for the company, that's 70% of the total revenue. That's something that is, the pricing pressure has stayed over there, but less impacted than the industry that saw. So other than versus the industry, less of an impact that we're seeing coming in on that front. Moving on, we also have in terms of the company's issuer solution, which accounts to around 15% of the total revenue. The small total addressable market share is there for this particular segment for the company, but it enjoys market leadership. So that is something that could work out well for the company, given that even if it's a smaller share, they're seeing that the leadership is high, the profitability is high over there. So that could support the company as well. The AIF business, that's 4% of the revenue. That's a fast-growing segment for the company as well. And expect operating revenues also to come in as well as the PAT CAGR growth at 13% and 18% respectively over the next few years as well. So yes, Kfittech surely in focus on the back of that, buzzing away in trade today, Shrishti.
Okay, so that's the first stock. We're moving on to the next counter in focus, and that is BEL. The stock is on the roll today because just on Friday we saw a new order win coming in, and today a fresh announcement being made by the company where they say that they have received new order worth 678 crores, in which 445 crores is the contract they have signed with the UP government for their next generation UP Dial 112 project, wherein BEL will be providing comprehensive and state-of-the-art hardware, AI-based software and cyber-security solutions for the Dial 112 project, which is widespread across UP. And BEL is also saying that this particular project is one of the Asia's biggest project when it comes to such emergency response system. As of now, the cumulative order book stands at 26,630 13 crores is what the company has said. But not just that, even brokerages are bullish on this one, wherein today we have CLSA's report where they have gone ahead, though they maintain their buy rating on this counter, but have hiked the target price from 154 rupees to 207 rupees, because just a couple of days back BEL did raise its guidance, growth guidance for the year ahead, and CLSA is saying that government walking the talk on Made in India and rising share of electronics. BEL to beat FY24 inflow guidance, with inflows up 7 times on a YTD basis. And on the back of this bullish report and the new order win, the stock is on the roll today, holding a gains of 4.5% as of now.
Okay, let's move on to stock number 3, and that is on the technical front. And Kunal, Voltas is the first stock that you picked out for us today. When you look at it in the last 1 week specifically, the stock has really seen a sharper run up, 12% uptick in the last 1 week itself. Any specific thing that is shaping up on the charts for Voltas now? What is the target that you're keeping for this?
Good afternoon. So yeah, I think Voltas is something which has been looking attractive over the last 1 week. I've been recommending this stock since the time that the stock was sub 900 levels, I think 894 to be precise. I think from there on we've seen a classic change of trend for the stock. Now, what started off as being a very minor recovery for the stock, some bit of short covering into the futures for Voltas in the current series, is now resulting into a possible long formation, long built up for the stock. Now, interestingly, the stock has formed an inverted head and shoulder pattern. You can probably call it as a triangular pattern, ascending triangular pattern as well for the stock price, and it's broken those patterns for itself on the daily as well as the weekly time frame, which should augur very well for the stock over the medium to long term. So I'm expecting this to be a very strong turnaround move for stock like Voltas, and I'm expecting the stock to head towards the 4-digit mark pretty quickly.
Okay, surely that is Voltas that you all are keeping an eye out on today as of now as well. But let's move on and talk about Kumar Infra. Mamakshi, this one is buzzing away in trade, solid gains that we're seeing here. What's the main reason for this? Why is it in focus?
Well, yes, Vinny, as you rightly pointed out, Kumar Infra is abuzz in the trading session today, and how, in fact, as of now, the stock is locked in its upper circuit of almost 20%, and this has come after a brokerage note that came through from CLSA. They've maintained their buy rating, but they've gone ahead and significantly hiked their target price from 385 earlier to 720 rupees per now. Now, what they're saying is that the company is an inexpensive play on high growth urbanization capex. They have a strong foothold in metro railways. Apart from that, 2024 is ideally expected to be a very good year for this counter, because they have a nearly $2 billion backlog. FY24 year to date, the company has been showered with urbanization orders, with its backlog up nearly 114% on a year-on-year basis. The company is also building climate resistant urban infrastructure, and in fact, the company is expected to post a top line growth of almost 2 times going ahead, as far as CLSA believes. So all in all, on the back of these positive commentary that came through from CLSA, we have Kumar Infra in focus today. The stock, as you can see, is abuzz in the trading session today.
Okay, that's about Kumar Infra, but another counter in focus, that is UPL. And Ankita, after that right issue announcement, this stock is buzzing. Tell us more on that front.
Correct, Shrishti. UPL is in focus today. It is up 1% in trade almost. And the firm has said that the board has approved a proposal to raise 4,200 crore rupees, and this will be via rights issue. And they're saying that this is likely to be subjected to the receipt of course, the statutory and the regulatory approval, and that's what the company is waiting for. But via rights issue, 4,200 crore rupees is what they are raising, and on the back of that, we see the stock up 1% in trade.
Alright, moving on then, and let's shift focus to the oil and gas space, as today we have a note coming in from NK where they have gone ahead and raised the target price on a couple of counters. But before that, ONGC is in focus, where they maintain their buy stance on this one and have hiked the target price to 250 rupees, as well as on Oil India. They have maintained their buy rating and increased the target price on this one as well to 445 rupees. What MK is highlighting, that despite the stock's strong performance and the run-up, the valuation seems inexpensive as of now, because for FY25 earnings, they are trading to 5 to 6 multiples. Other than that, the steady production growth persists for Oil India, NRL expansion on schedule, and for ONGC, the factors at play is KGDWN 98, the two's first oil is expected soon from the new refinery, and also on the dividend front, they are liking both of these stocks, wherein they say that on the dividend yield, ONGC and Oil India are well placed with a 5 to 6% dividend yield, and on the back of both of these, on the back of this note, both of these stocks are in focus today.
Okay, but let's keep it with that oil and gas space only, Shrishti. And, Kunal, you've actually picked out IOC for us. So, in terms of the up move that we've already seen for the stock, last 1 year managed to gain 70%. And then momentum seems to have continued for the stock. So, from here on, would you still expect it to go a bit higher? Or maybe it's time to start booking profits now?
Well, it's the first quarter, I think, for IOC where the stock has registered more than, I think, 40% at least over the last 8 to 10 quarters or more than that for the stock price, specifically from the 2020 lows for IOC. And I think now this gets into a very strong breakout mode for itself. So would be bullish on IOC and many of the, in fact, all three of the OMC stocks, BPCL as well as HPCL. And my sense is that these stocks are now starting off into a very strong breakout mode. Possibly these stocks should retest the previous lifetime highs for themselves. So I think for IOC that's closer to 150-55 levels, which means a potential target of at least another 20% to 25% on stocks like IOC is what I'm expecting over the next maybe 1 to 1.5 odd year.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on that, Shrishti. IOC, oil and gas space, that's the one that has been buzzing. But let's move on and talk about Anupam Rasayan. This one is in focus as well. Actually, it's given up those morning gains that we saw coming in. Intraday, it was up as much as 3%. As of now, trading with cuts of 0.3%. But the news flow here is something that is positive. They got in a letter of intent, which is worth around 500 crores with a Japanese firm. The products that will be manufactured actually in its existing facility and a new multi-purpose manufacturing facility which is there as well as the revenues from the letter of intent is likely to be up to somewhere around $61 million, and like I mentioned, 507 crores is the exact amount that we're talking about. They'll also be supplying which will start actually from 2024, calendar year 2024. So let's keep an eye out on that because surely we've seen a run-up coming in the stock early morning. As of now, trading with cuts of 0.3% to 0.4% of trade history.
Okay, let's move on then and let's focus to the IT space then. And Vamakshi, Wipro has come out with a clarification on some market chatter. Tell us more on that front.
Well, yes, Srishti, Wipro was in focus on Friday and continues to be in focus today. Now, keep in mind that the stock did see a dip in early morning trade, but it has since recovered. Now, on Friday, we actually saw the stock soar by almost 7%, and that was on the back of the buzz surrounding Sanjay Jalona actually joining the company, which actually gathered, which is the reason why the company actually gathered some steam. There was some very strong speculation amongst investors as well as analysts that Wipro was looking to hire the former L&T Infotech CEO Sanjay Jalona in a senior role in order to bring back momentum and boost its turnaround efforts. But we did reach out to Wipro for commentary for the same, and they responded to ET Now query saying that they have categorically and unequivocally denied such rumors. And on the back of that, we have Wipro in focus today. The clarification has come through, and as of now, the stock is up nearly 2%.
Okay, so that's the news flow around Wipro. But Kunal, in terms of charts of Wipro, what's the indication you're picking up for Wipro now, and where do you see it headed?
So it's exactly the same because after such a kind of an event, we would probably have expected the stock to get into a correction. But the fact that it's making a new swing high, breaking past about the previous, I think Thursday or Friday's high of 465, 470 for Wipro, I think indicates that there's more volume backed buying as well as happening to this large cap IT name. So I would believe that this could actually be a starting move for many of the large cap IT names, and especially the ones like Wipro, which have been huge underperformers with respect to many of the other large cap peers, I think, to try and cover up the underperformance for themselves. So would be bullish on Wipro. My expectation is that the stock should probably be able to break past about the 500 level, and 540 could be a near-term potential target range for Wipro.
Okay, that's the technical check on Wipro. But moving on, and Ankita, coming to you, TTK Prestige is in focus after some board decisions. Tell us more on that front.
Yes, so there is some board decision coming in for TTK Prestige. Now, the board has split the role of managing director and CEO, and for the same, the company has appointed Mr. Venkatesh Vijay Raghavan as the CEO, who will be reporting to the current managing director, who is Mr. Chandru Kalra. And this change in management is likely to come through and take place somewhere during the month of January 2024, because that's when Mr. Venkatesh Vijay Raghavan is expected to join the company. So on the back of that, we're seeing an uptick of 0.5% coming in on the stock.
All right then, and let's move on from the pharma space. Let's shift focus to what Biocon is doing, because this stock, the last time I checked, was holding on to the gains of 1.5%, and here you go, 1.5% gains coming in on Biocon. And what the company has said, that Biocon Biologics has partnered with Sandoz for the distribution of adalimumab injection in Japan, and this is definitely positive for the company, where they also say that Viatris has completed the marketing and promotion of the product as of December 15, but will continue to provide the transition and support until Sandoz will gradually resume the responsibilities for the product starting February 15. So this particular deal is what they had gone ahead in the Japanese market with Sandoz, and on the back of this this news flow, Biocon is in focus. Indeed, a positive news flow coming in for the company.
Okay, let's move on and then talk about another stock on the technicals in Kunal. NMCC, this one is buzzing away in trade today as well. What are the target prices that you're keeping for NMDC? Look at it in 6 months itself, 94% uptick, and today also among the top F&O gainers.
Well, yeah, I think if I'm again not wrong, 5th or the 6th consecutive month of price gain from NMDC, and in the last 5-6 months, the stock has moved from 103 club to now 200 plus levels for itself. So it's a very strong breakout, a strong trending move over the last 5-6 months for NMDC, and this reinstates the fact that many of these commodity metal related themes are not the ones which are going through a sluggish uptrend, but the fact that these stocks have clocked 100% plus returns in such a short time span indicates the beta nature of the stock as well as the strong trend which is at play. So very bullish on NMDC from current levels also, and I think the targets which I had signed in the previous calls which I had given on NMDC many months back, I think it's closer to 280 to 300 levels.
Okay, 280 to 300 levels is what one could keep an eye out on for the target prices for NMDC. Let's move on and talk about Inox Wind now. This one is in focus after the bagged a repeat order of around 280 megawatt. The order for 3 megawatt WTGs from a large CNI player, which they're seeing as well. Now, overall, the multi-year O&M services is part of the contract as well, and that's operation and maintenance is a part of the contract as well. And the project is expected to be executed in Rajasthan as well as Gujarat by June 2025. Now, Mr. Kailash, who's the CEO at Inox Wind, said that he believes that this order, as well as their overall strong order inflow pipeline that the company has been seeing, will reinforce their commitment towards achieving a sustainable growth in terms of execution and profitability for FY25 and beyond that as well. So today we had seen a sharp spike up in the stock. As of now, also managing to hold on to around 2.5% gains. So yes, Inox Wind is surely in focus. But let's also go across and listen into what the management had to say in terms of what are they expecting going forward from the company as well. Listen in to Devansh Jain, who is the ED at Inox GFL Group, joining in, who spoke to us earlier in the day.
So we announced a 280 megawatt order today. Importantly, it consists of 180 megawatts of equipment supply and very limited scope services, and 99 megawatts of turnkey. So what that signals also is our order book is spreading now between turnkey orders and equipment supply. It's also one of the largest CNI orders in the Indian market to date. Probably one of the largest order, I think the largest order we've ever received at a single point in time. This is an order which we'll be executing between Gujarat and Rajasthan. I think it should commence in Q1 FY25 and go on till Q1 FY26. Importantly, this gives us very, very significant revenue visibility into FY25. And I think this is just the start of a lot of order announcements we should be making over the next couple of days and months. We intend and hope that by March 24, we should be covering a big chunk of FY26 as well for us. In terms of revenue, this would entail a supply value north of 2,200 crores. This excludes the services piece. The services piece would be a couple of 100 crores over the lifetime of the contract. So I think that's where we are. I think in terms of margins, what we've guided for historically, that with our 3 megawatt product and our O&M services, we should get back to about 15% EBITDA margins. And I think this order should be in terms of margins, I think we should be able to achieve that as we move forward with these orders.
Okay, then moving on onto the stock-specific reaction, and Vamakshi, coming to you to know about what's buzzing with Asian Granito. We have seen a sharp spike in today's trading session.
Well, yes, Srishti, you're right. The stock actually saw a sharp spike in the trading session today after the company announced that they are now strategically also leaping into the sanitary ware production. They have commenced commercial operations at its wholly owned subsidiary, which is AGL Sanitary Ware Private Limited at Morbi. And in fact, the company has a vision to be among the top player in the sanitary ware space with the launch of its first plant. Now, keep in mind that this production facility that the company has an installed capacity of 0.66 million pieces per annum. In fact, the company does believe that this division is expected to grow rapidly, and in fact, they are also expecting the market share in the sanitary ware space to increase in the coming time. They are in fact expecting a turnover of almost 400 crores to come through from the sanitary ware and bathware division in the next 5 years. And this strategic move that the company has taken of transitioning from third-party sourcing to internal manufacturing is also expected to boost the margins for Asian Granito. In fact, the company has embarked on a journey of enhanced strategic integration program, which they've labeled as ESIP, to achieve a long-term vision of achieving nearly 6,000 crores worth of revenue. So that is the news flow surrounding Asian Granito, and as you can see, the stock is up and away in the trading session today.
Absolutely, Vamakshi. We are keeping an eye out on Asian Granito. Obviously, that will be something, maybe we'll see a boost coming in the margins, also keeping the stock abuzz as well. Let's move on to the next one, and IRCTC Kunal. We've seen a 25% approximately return in the last 1 month itself. Specific sharper uptick that started coming in the last 1-2 months. But now, in terms of the charts at the current levels, is it still something attractive that one should look to buy, or what is the target that you have in mind here?
So I believe 980 to 1000 could be a nominal target for IRCTC, which means a potential upside of another 9 to 10% could be seen to the stock price. But the only concern with a stock like IRCTC is the high beta nature of the stock price, because it tends to get into those odd phases of a quick 5-10% odd correction before it starts to get into a recovery phase and then a breakout mode for itself. So that's the only concern for a stock like IRCTC, which means that a buy on dips strategy could be a good strategy for IRCTC, and for traders who are looking to buy the stock can buy partially at current levels, and in case if the stock dips down to say 840 mark, 830 levels, that could be another zone where traders could look to add positions further and try to bring the cost price as close to 850 for IRCTC. So my targets on the shorter term time frame for IRCTC is closer to 980 to 1000.
Alright then, IRCTC on the move continues, but Crompton Greaves is the counter. Ankita, that's the next stock in focus. Tell us more on that one.
That's right, Crompton Greaves is in focus today, and this is coming on the back of a new launch. They have launched a new product, a 70 watts well glass straight that is catering only to the domestic market. Now remember, in the month of October, they had also launched Cavelo well glass, and earlier in October as well, they had launched Essence, that's a storage water heater. And with this, this is the third innovation in the last 3 months coming in from the stable of Crompton Greaves, and on the back of that, the stock is going to be in focus today. Currently trading more towards the lowest point of the day.
That is Crompton for you all, surely keeping an eye out on that one. Let's move on and talk about Indiabulls Housing. And in terms of charts, Kunal, what is Indiabulls Housing now indicating? Where could one see this headed from here on? What is your view in terms of the technical front for this?
So I think, if I'm not wrong, again, this could be the last series for Indiabulls Housing to be in the FNO. The stock goes out of the FNO itself from the start of the next series, which is the Jan series. And remember that this has been an extremely volatile stock as such, a stock which has moved or given movements of at least 20%, 25% in any kind of a trend which has been favorable or unfavorable to the stock prices. So Indiabulls Housing broadly looks very attractive even at current levels, and with hopefully the stock coming out of the FNO ban, I would actually believe that this could be a strong indication of more of stable trends for the stock price. And we've seen historically, and I've made this point time and again, that whenever a stock changes the beta for itself and tries to get into a strong trending mode, those trends, they last for a significant amount of time, and then the stock gets to see more upside for itself. So I'm expecting the same for Indiabulls Housing. Would be very bullish on the stock.
Okay, we're moving on and let's shift focus to an ET Now exclusive wherein insurance companies may get a severe impact due to Cyclone Michuang, wherein heavy rains and subsequent floods in Tamil Nadu have affected the same. And ET Now has learned from the sources that initial estimates suggest that insurers will suffer a hit of 6 to 7,000 crores. Let's get in more details on this one, and Anurag Shah is joining us with that. Take it away, Anurag.
So several cities in the state of Tamil Nadu got affected due to heavy rains and cyclone. As per the data submitted to Finance Ministry, till now non-life insurers have got a claim amount of around 2,000 crore, and the initial estimates of the companies is that the claim amount this time can go up to 6 to 7,000 crore because the floods in Tuticorin and Tirunelveli still the claims of these areas are getting reported. So this time amount can go up to 6 to 7,000 crore, and most of the claims non-life insurers are getting in numbers is of a motor insurance. The vehicles, two-wheeler, four-wheeler got affected due to heavy rains, and in non-motor segment the quantum is more. In non-motor segment, the factories and premises got submerged due to the flood. So quantum is more in the non-motor segment than the policy which get covered, the fire and special peril policy for the business premises and factories. Most of the quantum of the claims is there. But this time as compared to the 2015 flood, the total amount will be less because the insurance companies were more proactive. This time they have intimated their policy holders when their vehicle got submerged, what should be done, do's and don'ts about to avoid huge losses. So that is a positive part on the side of non-life insurers, but overall claim will go 6 to 7,000 crore. And one more development is that insurance companies has both private and PSU insurance companies are setting up camps across the cities to settle the claims. And today also Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman also visiting Tuticorin to see the affected areas.
Okay, Anurag, thank you so much for giving us that update. Surely the claim amount seems to be quite higher after the floods. That's one to watch out for going forward as well in terms of that. But we'll slip into a very short break, viewers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more stocks after the break.